Hello and welcome to the first in the series of how to use videos for the EasySave system version 1.2. And for this instance, we're going to be discussing adding a new actor variable to the save struct. So this is any new information about an actor that we would like to save. So if we go into our save struct, you can see we've got all this different stuff that we can save about an actor. So what we're going to do is going to add a new variable, and we're just going to simply do an example here and add a quantity. So there we go, and that's going to be in the form of an integer. And then we can then save that, and that's good. That's good to go. So now inside of our game mode, we now have quantity as an output and an input here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into our BP master actor, and we're going to just add a new variable in here, and that's going to be quantity. And we're going to make that an integer, instanceable, and we're going to expose it on spawn. So now in our game mode, we can go to all of our events that create actors. So in this case, we're setting up our initial actor. So obviously its health variable can change. So the first time we set it up, we're going to get its health from the data table and set that in here as well. And we're just going to do the same for its quantity. So this will just be by default, whatever the item quantity that you've set is. So let's get our array element here, and we'll get quantity and put that into there, which by default, we're going to set to 1. So let's just go and do that. There we go. We have 1 quantity. So the first time it loads, it's going to loop through this. It's going to look up the relevant information in the data table to get its health, and it's going to take the quantity from the actor in the world. So if we go into the world now, in each of these, you'll see we've got a quantity of 1. Now we can manipulate that quantity. So we don't want that to be constantly being set. We want that to be set the first time from default. And then whenever we load it again, we want to update that. So let's go into the next section in the event graph, which is our load all level actors. And now our quantity will have been set. So we can then load it from there. So there we go. Now we've got our quantity being passed over. When we spawn an actor, we're going to get all the relevant details, and we're going to spawn a quantity here. So what we can now do is take that, move it over to here, and then when we do a spawn call, we can pass through the quantity we want to spawn. So if we go into our first person character where we're doing the spawn call, now we have a quantity that we can spawn in. So we'll just by default set that to 1. There we go. So it will spawn 1 item individually. So now we have that set in all of our instances where we can change it. We have it here where we spawn an actor. We're passing through the quantity we want to spawn. When we get all actors, we're going to get its initial quantity and set that in the array element. And then when we load an actor, we're going to then pull that quantity from the array element. So however many quantity is in that actor is going to get passed back into the actor that we are loading into the level to make sure that it is identical. Okay, so the next thing we're going to look at is updating actor variables. So currently, when we spawn an object in, it's being saved. When we remove an object, it's being saved. But there is no intermediate saving functionality. Well, there is, but we haven't gone over that yet. So in our update actor, we've got a bunch of different variables that we can pass through. So whenever we change something in an actor, we're gonna call this event. So in our master actor, we've got our update actor save details. So we'll call this event. We're gonna call the update actor event, which is going to pass over the array index and the actor that we want to operate on, and then a few other variables that we would like to change. Now, one of those is obviously going to be quantity. So let's go to here and add a new pin and say, do we want to change quantity? So update quantity. Now, the reason I'm putting these booleans in here is because you might want to change some things and not others. So let's just do new quantity. And then we can change that one to a boolean. And we can set that. And then what we can do with this is we can do another select node. So let's do a select int. And our wildcard is going to be, are we updating our quantity? If that's yes, we're going to set our quantity to the new quantity. And if it's false, we're just going to pull off our existing quantity, send that over as well. And there we go. And that's it. So now when we save, if we make any changes to the quantity in the pickup actor, whenever we make that change, we simply call the update actor variable and pass through whatever we want. So let's get our update transform, our update health, our update quantity, and then we've got new health and new quantity, and our new transform is being pulled from the actor that we're passing over, which is always going to be self, so we don't need to add anything for that. So now whenever you want to update something about an actor, whether it's its health value or its quantity value, you just call this function, this event, pass it through the variable. So if you want to update the transform but not the health or the quantity, or you want to update the health but not the transform or the quantity, just pass through, tick the relevant things, and in the actual event itself, if it's true, so if we do want to update the quantity, we're going to pull from the new quantity that we feed in. If it's false, we're going to pull from the old quantity, which is stored in our save level actors info, and then we're simply going to update that and then save it all over again. It is really that simple. So just to show you that in action, let's do something in here. So let's put a delay, and we'll say 5 seconds. That should be plenty. And we'll call our update actor save details. And so now we can do some stuff here. So we don't want to update the transform. We don't want to, well, we do want to update the health. We don't want to update quantity. So we'll pass through a new health value of 69. All right. So now, our first load, they will all have their correct values. And after 5 seconds, oh wait, hang on a minute. There we go. Yeah, I forgot to do it the right way around. So in master actor, we're gonna, sorry, because it's health value is pulling from health value. So let's get our health here. And we'll set that to 69. And then we'll pass that through to the new health. There we go. And as you can see, the content, the transform and the quantity didn't change, only our health did. So this new quantity value, you don't need to set that if you're not changing the quantity. Obviously, if you are changing the quantity, you'll need to set that. So if we just remove the save game now and go back to the first person map. Right, so now we should see their values change to 69. There we go. And now if we save that, all that information will be being passed over without us picking up or putting down the item. So there we go. That is how you update an active variable without picking it up or putting it down. And I think that pretty much covers all the things you'll need to know to use this system. So the Data table for the items is pretty self-explanatory. You just put for every item that you want, you just add a new variable to this, and then that's what the game looks at when it first loads the actors, pulls from there, gets their default details, and puts it in there. So anything that you want to be set to default, but also be changeable, gets set here. So as you can see, we're setting our health here in the actual actor itself. And then we can change the health in the actor like we just did, and then that will update the actor's health in the saved actor array. And you can do that for anything: inventory, costs, lifespan, whatever you want, you can do. So let's just get rid of that now because we don't need that anymore. And we will just compile that. And we'll save all. And there we go. That's how you would add or remove update data to the save actor structure. Anything you want to save about an actor, you can just add into here. Anything that you want set from default goes in here. And then that will catalog all these items. So the first time the level is loaded, all the items will get their information set to their default settings from whatever's listed in our actor details here. And then whenever we update said item, we can update all of the stuff that's in the save file. And then whenever we load the save file again, all of those values will then get pushed over into the new actor. So if we load up the level again, you'll see 69, 69. We'll get rid of that, get rid of that. Close out of there again. There you go. The cheese is still there and it's 69. And our apples are coming out at 15 because it's their first spawn. And they're not going to change again. So there's our lemons, which is, like, as I say, pulling from the data table. And then we just double check that all of that is working as it should be. And there you go. Super up all those apples and lemons. So yeah, there we go. There's another quick, easy way on how to use the save system. And if you have any questions, leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Like I say, if you want early access, $5 or more, PayPal in the link description below. Otherwise, it'll be on my itch page in a few days for about $7.58. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.